My wife today still tells me she knows me as the guy that was smoking hookah on med school. Well,
First impressions
so
last.
yeah. So I used to watch him go do some open water swims, and I thought, oh well, why don't we both do something together? And we started off by doing a sprint triathlon. I remember going off to the race, and I couldn't even run 5Ks. We used to train on a Sunday, and we used to get lost on a 10 or 15K cycle. I remember getting into the water and putting my head into the water, and the water was so cold, and I started. I'm putting my head into the water, and I just started panicking. And he came back and took me along, and I swam doggy paddle, and I swam breaststroke, and got to the end of we were like, I think the second last people out the water. And somehow we managed to finish the race. I found this very difficult, and
Right.
I want to overcome it. It's only when you talk to others, do you realize that others have been through maybe similar sort of situations or been through difficult times. But it's just about not feeling bad to just ask for that help.
Was it easy, like to now transition from how you were doing things to now?
Yeah, sure. I think it has been a gradual process. You come to understand as you get older what your body can handle. So I've had to transition from triathlon, which was juggling 3 different disciplines, to just running and still make time for everything. I actually work 6 days a week. Would just be not feasible and be slightly selfish. That's why I've chosen running and still have the rest of the day with the family.
What was the curiosity towards dentistry that attracted you to it?
Well, my dad's actually a dentist. Obviously, I always looked up to him. It almost felt like it's always what I wanted to do. So it was like a professional calling. We're trying to create a network of dentists which are trying to assist athletes and professional teams throughout South Africa. But we would also like to incorporate like things like pre-season screening. Professional teams need to also see the value in what we are offering and what we are doing. I mean, we're looking at overall health of the athletes. These teams have been part of the professional set. I mean, internationally, dentists have also been pitch side on just the way a sports physician or a physio is pitch side.
Hi guys. Before we dive into today's episode, I've got a quick favor to ask. If you've been enjoying the conversations here on Zen and Now, whether it's helped you reflect, grow, or just feel a little bit more seen, take a second to hit that subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you're listening on. Subscribing means you won't miss a single episode, and it also helps more people discover the show, people who might really need these kind of real and honest conversations. And if you're feeling extra generous, leave a quick rating or review. It honestly makes a huge difference and keeps the podcast going strong. Thank you so much. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kishen.
So, Bhavik, before we even get into the conversation, did you get some training in today?
Yeah. Today, Wednesday is normally my double threshold days. So I had a track session this morning, and then went to work, and I fitted in another threshold session in the evening. So I was quite tired. But yeah, that's generally my days.
Nice. And you're here now talking about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I think when they're at that age when we have that super energy in our early 20s and teens, we don't really think about how later on in life, if we carry on that way, we just burn out at the end of the day and we just don't have that energy anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I remember starting off in my 20s, and I was able to do double days 3 to 4 times a week, and you wouldn't even think about it.
Hmm.
You just get through and run on adrenaline, and that's it.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
yeah, but now you need to think of recovery and not getting injured, and so as we get older, you got to think of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it easy, like to now transition from how you were doing things to now? Did you, or gradually you understood, okay, I need to, incorporate some health practices or recovery practices, given that I have also now family uh, to take care of. I mean, mentally, a mental load of like that, sure, it's exhausting.
Yeah, sure. I think it has been a gradual process. You come to understand as you get older what your body can handle. But also in terms of time, it's about like your family and work
Hmm.
and those demands as well. So I've had to transition from triathlon, which was juggling three different disciplines, to just running. I say just running, but I'm still running quite competitively. But I've transitioned to running because it ended up being a lot easier in terms of just doing my one session per day and still being able to get to work, still be there for the family,
Hmm.
and still make time for everything.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it was almost like trying to get a 3-hour cycle on a Sunday. Um, and it's okay when you
Yeah.
don't have a wife, when you don't have a child. But when you're working 6 days a week and then you're out the house for the whole Sunday, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
it's not.
that, yeah, that doesn't go down so well. So yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling because coming from a competitive background in sports as well, myself playing soccer and cricket, you know, early stages of life when independent, you're by yourself, you don't have anything to worry about. You can do those
Mm,
sessions and you can go and play the whole day on a Saturday or Sunday and train 5 6
mm,
days and come back and it's okay. But now when
yeah,
you have other responsibilities, you gotta have to like you know double down and just think about how much time you're actually spending away from the family and
yeah,
and still getting in your training.
yeah,
So okay, it's a lot to manage, and I just want to understand. Like, let's
yeah.
go back to the beginning. What was the curiosity towards dentistry that attracted you to it?
Well, my dad's actually a dentist. So I've always been in and out of well, the current practice I'm
Mm.
working in. So obviously I always looked up to him. It almost felt like it's always what I wanted to do. So it was like a professional calling. So I'm lucky because I knew what I wanted to do. I enjoy working with people. I enjoy working with my hands. I enjoy the science and the precision and currently a lot of the new technology with dentistry. Um, so yeah, like that's where the passion for dentistry has come in. Um, yeah.
And in the beginning, was it difficult to manage training while studying?
Um, so so training while study, um, my running came a lot later. I started off with triathlons. Um, but that wasn't at the time of when I was studying. When I was studying, I used to go to gym. My parents used to uh, always motivate us to go at like early in the morning to the gym. So we used to go to the
Right.
gym, but nothing competitive, just a little bit of cardio, a little bit of strength work. Um, and I used to play. five-a-side soccer. We used to play a bit of golf. Um, I mean, I am competitive, but I never took anything really seriously. I mean, through my campus years, I was the typical uh, um, party sort of campus goer. I used to drink. I used to smoke hookah.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, my wife today still tells me she knows me as the guy that was smoking hookah on med school. Well,
First impressions
so
last.
yeah. So, but
Yeah.
that's and then um, the way that it started was actually um, I was done with studying. I already started working, and um, my my brother and I were going to the gym, and I kind of looked at his heart rate, and I told him, I said, "Your heart rate is a bit high. Like, why is it so high?" And we ended up getting him to a doctor and getting it checked, and he ended up having a syndrome um, with the heart. And the doctor said, "Well, either you can train, like swim, or you can take some medication." So he decided to
Mhm.
swim, and I wasn't swimming at the time, and I used to watch him go do some open water swims, and I thought, oh well, why don't we both do something together? And we started off by doing a sprint triathlon with our um, small mountain bikes, uh, and we went. And I remember going off to the race, and I couldn't even run 5Ks. We used to train on a Sunday, and we used to get lost on a 10 or 15K cycle. And we got to race day, and I remember getting into the water and putting my head into the water, and the water was so cold, and I started to hyperventilate, and I
Oh,
couldn't even get through a 600-meter swim. And
right.
my brother turned around, looked at me, and he says, "What's the matter?" And I said, "I'm not going to make this." I was
Mm.
like, I'm putting my head into the water, and I just started hyperventilating and panicking. And he came back and took me along, and I swam doggy paddle, and I swam breaststroke, and got to the end of we were like, I think, the second last people out the water. And somehow we managed to finish the race. Um, but the nature inside me said that I found this very difficult, and
Right.
um, I want to overcome it and get better at it. And from there, yeah, I overcame it by literally just telling myself that whatever comes my way in the water, I will get through it. And
You'll deal with it.
yeah, from there we ended up, training harder, feeding off of each other, week in, week out training,
Mhm.
and just getting better. And um, we slowly started to realize that we were getting slightly faster, and started to um, enter some of the races to try and qualify for some of the other bigger triathlons and duathlons. So that's where we started.
Right.
That's where my journey began. Yeah. Um, yeah.
Hmm. That's amazing because I think most people would just walk away from that event or just turn around and say, "No, I can't do this." But you actually made a conscious decision to get into the water and even complete because you knew by not completing
Yeah.
it you would have done disservice to your training as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it comes from an innate. There's something inside of you that says, "Yeah, I don't want to do this, but I can finish. I can do this." And you just need somebody to help you along. And thankfully, your brother was there to part that wisdom into you, or encourage you to say, "Hey, you know what?
Mm,
Let's do this. I know it's a bit challenging right now, and I think most things in life now, where we sit now in our 30s and 40s, we look back at those events in our life, and we're kind of grateful that we actually went through with it. Because if we didn't, then
Mm.
there would have been some form of regret or some form of apprehensiveness now to even just start something new in life. Or even if you're faced with a tough challenge,
Yeah.
walk away from it, or instead of just pushing through and knowing that on the other end, whatever happens, I've at least tried.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'll tell you a story. We had
Yeah, I think that's
no, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's exactly it. You look back and you think to yourself, you like quite lucky to have gone through some of these stages in your life because um, if I hadn't went through that, I wouldn't be competing the way I'm competing. I wouldn't have went to different championships through my athletic career, but it was um, I think it's that feeling inside of you that you do not want to fail,
Mm,
and sometimes you do need that little bit of help too. Some people think that you are able to just do it alone. But I think through the early times, it was that help which I needed to
mm,
get through to the other side. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I say this because if you'd like to share, just say somebody's listening to this right now and they're currently in a situation where they kind of feel the weight is on their shoulders, primarily their responsibility. What kind of like advice would you give to somebody to say, to ask for help, especially coming from the communities we grew up in? I still feel it's very much masculine energy where the man will take over most of the responsibilities and not share what he's feeling, or if he's under that pump of the weight. Do you have any advice for somebody who's like trying to say to even just ask, help me?
Um, the thing is that you always feel that you're the only one that's going through certain situations.
Mm,
It's only when you talk to others, do you realize that others have been through um, maybe similar sort of situations or been through difficult times. And it's just about putting aside that ego and pride and asking for help. Um, like they always say, there's no silly question,
yeah.
and there isn't. Um, but it's just about not feeling bad to just ask for that help. Yeah.
Hmm. I think we're getting to a stage now where more and more people or more and more men are talking about asking for help or expressing how they feel and not feeling too shy, or feeling just like they can't. Because I feel in a place where I think a lot of us are now just trying to manage most of the expectations that we have on us. And we have our partners now that help us
Mhm.
along, or we have family members or colleagues, whoever that may be. We're not afraid to say, hey man, I need your help today. Or I can't really do this today. Can you take on the load? And I feel like you sharing your story like that will just help somebody understand that it's okay when when you're in fear. You just need that soundboard to come in and help you along, and just let you know that everything is okay. You'll be okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Given that you've accomplished so much now in life, and that dentistry also now has, you have a footprint in that industry and with the athletics world as well. How have the two merged together, and or have they merged for you, going forward?
Um, yeah, I mean, I've now been practicing the industry for maybe about 15 years.
Mm,
And same with training. I would say it's probably from the time I started working. Um, and I always thought to myself, how can I merge the two, and would I be able to? Um,
Mm.
and I remember Googling it. Must have been about 4 or 5 years ago, and there's a thing that came up, and there was a bit of said there's sports dentistry courses around, um, but it hasn't really been so much of a thing, especially in South Africa. Um, and yeah, so it has come together, and I ended up finding through social media um, some sports dentists in UK, and we have connected, and I ended up attending the launch of the UK Sports Dentistry Association um, last year. Um, and together now, with the help of them, of some of the colleagues from Scotland and Ireland, uh, we are planning on launching the South African Sports Dentistry Association.
Okay, cool.
So yes, uh, it has sort of come together. So it's quite nice merging my two passions together. But yes, that's in its infancy. So
Mm.
uh, we are riding the waves um, and building on it, and we shall see where it takes us. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I know you can't give too much away uh, on that, but if you don't mind, just like giving us just a bit of an insight into, how sports dentistry in SA will be incorporated. Is it like just the whole of South Africa?
Yeah, so we are looking to the whole of South Africa. We're trying to create a network of dentists which are trying to um, assist um, athletes and professional teams throughout South Africa. So by building that sort of interest, we can see uh, we can build that network and be able to easily get athletes seen by dentists. But we would
Yeah.
also like to incorporate like things like preseason screening. Then, but that also comes at the like the professional teams need to also see the value in what we are offering and what we are doing. Um, and that's the reason that these associations worldwide have now been formed. Um, and so yeah, and currently we're going to try to be under um, the umbrella of the South African Sports Medical Association.
Mhm.
Um, So they are also assisting us in the launching of the South African Sports Dentistry Association and South African Sports Medical Association, which is SASMA. Um, they have medics and they have um, physios and dietitians and all of those under the umbrella. Dentists are not part of that. And with the talks that
Oh,
we have been having, hopefully that we will also be part of that umbrella and be part of their conferences as well.
okay. That's cool because recently I just had Zinat Simji on the podcast as well, former
Mm,
SA rugby nutritionist as well. And she explained as well, like prior
yes.
to 2019, and there was no such services for, elite athletes. You would have thought,
Yeah.
okay, at least a nutritionist would be, part of that makeup. And like you said, now going forward, dentistry now is going to be part of that umbrella, which is good because I think, like you said, I mean, high performing athletes need those kind of things at a much quicker rate or quicker scene time than your average person, especially in contact sport.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's just about creating that sort of awareness. And sometimes the teams just get caught up in exactly what they're doing, and
Mm,
it's about sometimes also just knocking on the doors and finding out
yeah.
whether anyone's interested in what you're doing.
Do you feel now with most of these as professionals are coming under the umbrella, do you feel now our teams are performing at a much efficient level or optimal levels? Because I mean, the South African teams and South African athletes now they're doing pretty well for themselves, overseas and in elite sports. Do you think this contributes part towards that as well?
Yes, of course. I mean, we're looking at the overall health of the athletes. Um, I mean, even in terms of nutrition and things, the way things are now compared to the way they were is chalk and cheese.
Right.
And that just improves recovery. And so, yes, definitely. But also worldwide, these teams have been part of the professional setup. I mean, internationally, dentists have also been pitch side on just the way a sports physician or a physio is pitch side. Dentists have also been pitch side, and that has been happening internationally. It's been Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and also at the NFL level. NFL level, they would also have dentists sitting pitch side. So it's about just creating that sort of awareness and just being able to have quick referrals for patients and being
On
able
call,
to
yeah.
be seen as quickly as possible. Yeah.
I'm curious, what kind of services would you provide on pitch side for as a dentist? I'm curious.
Okay. So dentists have actually been actually doing a lot of suturing, facial suturing,
Right.
pitch side.
Okay.
So one of our colleagues uh, who was in Scotland, she actually has done a podcast with one of our other colleagues, and she talks about how uh, she was suturing like Bongi Manambi and some of those players um, during the games which were there. So, I mean, we do a lot of suturing in the mouth. So being able to suture on the face, obviously with a bit of additional training. So they have had additional training in terms of
Right.
suturing. Um, yeah. So, and
Speed
also
wise.
being able to, yeah. And so they are able to assist the medical team in that way. Um, yeah.
In term for, say for non-medical personnel like myself, if somebody asks what is suturing, just in like a dummy's guide to what is suturing.
Oh, so it's like say a player gets cut and then you got to put in some stitches for them.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So like you just keep, it is amazing. Like even now dentists or even that kind of service is available to athletes, so they don't have to worry about anything but just performance. So because they know everything else in the back end is taken care of, and that I think in turn results come out for that, and you just keep keep succeeding and keep evolving. I feel that's where SA Rugby specifically has done so well, because they've been able to get the most out of their athletes by taking care of everything else on the side. I know it wasn't great maybe say 5-6 years ago, but I think slowly, I think even our baby box and even now the females have won. So I think that institution
Mm.
has done really well in incorporating the medical side or marrying the two to bring results and to bring the country to some fame and success.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys are part of that, so I think you guys are doing an amazing job. Doing that for the country, and it's not just for yourself; it's for the country as well.
Well, we're not there yet. We're trying to get there. Yeah, as dentists, we are in our infancy, so we are.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
yeah,
okay. I mean, you
I wouldn't
manifest
like
it
to
like
say
we
that
always
I am
say.
part of it. Yeah. Yeah. As dentists, we are trying to get there.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, man. You got to start somewhere. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break. speaking of like resilience, when you've hit a block for yourself personally, and I'm sure you've hit many of those walls. What keeps you motivated and keeps you going, knowing that this will happen again, but I have to keep going?
Yeah, so I guess I mean with regards to my training, I just tend to feel that it's less about motivation and more about discipline, going through each day at a time.
Mm.
But when I reach a mental block, it's almost like my training has helped me um, to, it's given me the tools to overcome some of these mental challenges. Because when you go through a race and you hit a what they call a wall. You have to go in mentally. It's a mental game. You have to tell yourself that you are you are better than that. Your body is stronger. Um, your mind is stronger than the body. So yes, sports has probably taught me how to deal with certain mental blocks, which do come along.
Yeah, I remember when in cricket, by playing club cricket, there was no such thing as having those extra people to take care of you. If you get injured, it's it's all on you. Or you like bandage yourself, or you got to keep, and then knowing
Yeah,
it can happen again because it's a contact sport, right? And it's those kind of mental challenges that you have to
yeah,
keep in your mind to know that okay, this will happen again. It can happen again, but I just need to keep going because I know my body can go through so much, and I can push through because it's just a mental game. The physical body will react to the mind, so to speak.
yes, yes. Um, Yeah, I mean, for me as well, like I guess different things, different things in my life also would motivate me on days when I feel down or if I'm going through a race and you get to a certain point and your body just doesn't want to go. Um, so it's always
Hmm.
that. So I always look at it as that week before the race where there's a lot of mental preparation that goes into the race day. And and those sort of where your mind goes sometimes is always it's like sometimes it's predetermined. Like you know that on the race day, for example, the pain is coming.
Hmm.
Um, and you gotta know what to look for inside you to deal with that pain. Because you know it's coming. When you hit that 30K mark, and it's not only you, you know that pain is coming. So I'd look at maybe different events. For example, sometimes like I think of my daughter when my daughter wasn't well, and and uh, and that day would then I'd look inside and I say, if she'd been through a certain amount of pain, I this pain is nothing and it will
Hmm.
then burn like a fire inside of me. And then you, uh, so it's those sort of things that you look for. Or during difficult training periods, there'd be certain music that I would play, and that would ring in your mind as you go through the difficult periods of a race, and you know that it's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. If you can just walk us through, like, say one day before your race, what's your preparation look like?
Um, yeah. So um, generally, the mind stuff happens um, the week before the race. The day before the race, it's just about relaxing and not thinking. I don't think too much about the race, so I try not to. Even though my wife says I look very, very stressed the day before any race. Um, but generally, it's just about uh, keeping the legs nice and fresh. But the week before the race, I would always go through I would look back on the training I've done because you got to remember because sometimes mentally you'll always doubt yourself. You'll always tell
Hmm.
yourself you haven't done enough. Will I be okay on the race? Uh, um, what if I break down in the race? What will happen? Um, and then also, like I said, the mental game is normally for myself predetermined. I know what I'm searching for inside of me on those
Mhm.
specific days when things are not looking good. Um, there were times when I would write my daughter's name on my
Oh,
forearm.
okay.
Um, and but that then motivated me to get a tattoo. So I ended up getting it
That
ended up
permanently there.
getting so I think that yeah so I got a lion and the lion represents myself and the fire that burns inside of me. I've got my daughter's birth date, my wife's birth date, and then I've got a tree with like five birds representing my parents and my siblings.
Oh, that's
Um,
amazing.
so, so yeah, and I've got it on my leg. So when I'm
Oh,
running,
okay, so it's
that's the
visible when you're running.
that's yeah, it's visible. Yeah, yeah. So when I'm running,
Yeah, it was
it's there.
nice. Because that was my next point. Though I wanted to ask you is because it's such a solo race. How do you keep motivated? Because in a team environment, you have your teammates to help you through certain moments. Uh, being an isolated person, it's just you, uh, like a solo person. At least now you've got that kind of emotional support on you, like physically, to know that they're there with you all the time to pick you up, even when you hit those
Yeah.
moments.
Yes. Yes. Um. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly why uh, I ended up getting the tattoo. And but yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. It's also showing that like you need your support structure sometimes
Mm.
around you, whether it's mentally or physically. It's just knowing that they're with you.
Right. Yeah, it's important to have that physical. I mean, sorry, that support structure. It just takes away something. It takes away that pain of being alone, feeling alone, because okay, wherever I
Mm.
go, they'll be with me, or I'll have some form of
Mm.
support, regardless of where I am or what I'm doing. I think that's very important. I think a lot of
Mm.
us come from community-driven, environments, and we've always been around people. Let's be honest, friends, family, and
Yeah,
when you now with
yeah,
yourself and it's just you and your family, for us, like it's moving away from South Africa, it was just myself and my wife. So we were each other's family. I can support structures at that point, but it still gets very challenging when you don't have a lot of the foundation. But then you start building your own foundations, and that becomes so much more worth.
yeah, sure.
The effort that you're putting in is worthwhile.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You definitely. I think like you said, we've grown up with that community around us. So you're always searching, you're
Mm,
searching for that wherever you are. Um, you're searching for that sort of support.
yeah. And if somebody is in a similar position to you right now and like thinking of starting, their journeys into say sports or athleticism, what kind of advice would you give them from a coming from a professional side of how to balance what would look like to what sacrifices to make when you want to take on that challenge as well and also be professional on the other side.
Um, so yeah, oops, sorry, you're gonna have to. I think maybe you're
No,
gonna edit that,
don't. Yeah, yeah.
and
Don't
you
worry.
can, and we can, and maybe we'll go. You can ask that again.
Bloopers. It'll be a bloopers.
Um,
I can repeat the question. No problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
I'm
better
like,
if you probably repeat that and
okay,
then, yeah.
okay. So for somebody who's listening to this and who wants to start also incorporating competing into their daily life with their professional life, what kind of advice would you give them, and just to start off with, and what kind of nuances to look out for, or things like that? Just any type of tips you can help them with.
Um, I always say like, don't wait for any sort of motivation. Try and build the habits and find an outlet. Like I found running, but I always say running may not be the outlet for everybody, but you got to find whatever. It could be dancing, it could be um, fishing, whatever it is. Just find an outlet, and start small, make it manageable, stay consistent, and progress just comes from showing up every day. Like even when you don't feel like it, it's over time. Consistency, consistency is what basically gives you and compounds
Mm.
into results. Um, so so yeah, it's just like just try and I guess find that motivation.
Yeah. How do you feel,
Mm.
or what keeps you consistent, or what keeps you
Um,
keep to keep showing up for yourself?
yeah, so for myself, like people always ask me, what is it that motivates me? And for myself, it hasn't been what motivates me. I find it's just about finding that sort of discipline. Um, and for example, I know I know what I need to do on a daily basis. And in terms of my training. And when my alarm goes off, I don't debate. I don't ask why. I
Mm.
just know what needs to be done, and I get up and I do it. Um, but that also comes from the support system around you too. I mean, back then when I wasn't married, it was my parents. That was my
Mm.
support. And now at this point in time, it's my wife and my daughter. If my wife wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to go out and do the training I do. Um, but yeah, it's more about just keeping consistent and just being disciplined. It's about starting small, making sure you just show up every day.
Yeah. How do you find the balance when? Because sometimes it gets to a point where, or has it gotten to a point where you had to choose between one or the other at certain moments in life?
You mean
Or yeah,
in terms
like
of
of spending time with your family, because it's important also that we spend time with our families as well. And sometimes we get so consumed in that activity. Did you ever feel like it was
yeah,
becoming too much or one of the other was becoming too much? Or did you find balance?
yes, of course. Uh, like I said at the beginning of the chat, like I used to do triathlons.
Mm,
And I realized that ended up uh, that used to take up a lot of time. Um, where I actually work 6 days a week.
mm,
So for me to go out on a Sunday, um, and cycle and get back home at 1 o'clock would just be not feasible and be slightly selfish. That's why I've chosen running so that I'm able to get out at 4 or 5 in the morning, be able to do a big session of 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and still be back by 7:30, and still have the rest of the day with the family. But yes, there are certain times where certain races uh, you can't do, but
yeah.
I think you come to realize that. there'll always be races. There'll always be uh, these sort of things that you'll always be able to do throughout your life, and certain things with
Hmm.
your family, those things are things that sometimes won't come back. So you've got to also realize why you're doing it. I'm not a professional athlete. So yeah, sometimes you do need to sacrifice those sort of things.
Yeah. And have you guys ever done like a family race, just like just like a charity thing? Have the kids or have the daughter and the wife got
Uh,
involved?
Not yet, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they have come to support. They have come to
Yeah.
support. But no, not yet. But I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will.
Okay. Nice.
They have come to support. They have. I've had Joda uh, screaming for me on the side,
Nice.
so that's always
Right.
motivating. Yeah.
Cool. Recovery. What does your recovery practice look like?
I used to be. I used to be very, very bad about my sleep. Um, until recently, and try and make sure that I'm trying to get in as much sleep as possible. Um, Before I train, I make sure that I have something to eat um, to fuel my training sessions, and immediately afterwards, I will now have a protein shake. Mhm. And I make sure that almost every 2 to 3 weeks, I would get a sports massage.
Okay.
I do think that it's essential, but not even only for my training. Sometimes I'll go for a sports massage, and the lady will say, "Your legs actually feel fine. But your back is not doing so well," and that comes from dentistry.
Mm.
That comes from work, and that's not only me; it's others that also probably sit at the computer or um, So yes, I get a sports massage probably every 2 to 3 weeks, and I do have these recovery boots, which I do sit in a couple times a
Oh, those
week,
big ones.
which
Those
do
ones we see
help.
on online.
Yeah, those big ones.
Ah,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I got that the year I was doing comrades.
Okay.
So and I've now yeah, I use it. It's out, and now Mira also uses it. Some of the days when her
Nice.
legs are a little bit sore after a run. So yeah, that's it's
Yeah, you got to
mainly
invest.
just sleep, making sure you're getting good nutrition in. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you got to invest in yourself as well. And those are the investments, self-care that you do. Like for us, we even though we're not athletes or
yeah,
anything right now, but just maintenance, we do have like we do get benefits. We call them RMTs, so registered massage therapists. It doesn't cost you much, and you're covered by your insurance. And once in two
yeah,
months or whatever, or once a month, you're going to get those things. It's not just because massage feel good, but it's just for like keeping your body fresh. And if something comes up, yeah,
yeah,
it gets walked away. So I think that's the benefits of taking care of yourself and self care. And it's not selfish. A lot of the time, we always thought, okay, self care is selfish
yeah.
because why are you just looking after
I
yourself and not
remember the year of yeah. I remember the year I did comrades, and then I used to get a sports massage almost like religiously every 2 weeks. And I would go um, from one sports massage to another sports massage, just waiting for it because I wouldn't even be able to get out the car um, because I was in,
yeah, I can
in
imagine.
pain. Um, but but now if I look back, I'm like, why did I put myself through that much of pain? Something wasn't right. But but I think as you go on, you probably learn, and yeah, you optimize the way that you train
Mm,
and recover, and also now the science is. I remember from the time that we started the
yeah.
the science has just gone uh, way beyond from what I can remember. Um, and that helps a lot in terms of the way that we look at the way that you recover, the way that you train, the way
Nutrition,
that you
everything.
that you eat during a run. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's like you made an important point there. I think the sciences are now have far exceeded expectation of now it's just a fancy thing to use. Now I think it's
yeah.
become a requirement actually to incorporate all of that into your just daily life.
Yes, yeah.
I know now that you've gotten I mean you've gotten through so much in life right now. And I know the future also looks bright. So what's next for you?
So next is just I'm always trying to improve my marathon times. Um, so yeah, currently I'm trying to improve uh my my 21K time, my marathon time. Um, Hopefully I'll go back to some ultras like Two Oceans and Comrades. I've started incorporating a bit of functional fitness and a bit of high rocks. So that's pushing me in new ways. Um, and I'm enjoying the new challenge as well. It's also uh,
Mhm.
almost given me a reason to do strength where before it was quite difficult to fit in strength sessions.
Yeah,
And beyond my races, yeah, I'm passionate about growing sports dentistry in South Africa, and building awareness about athletes and oral health, um, athlete oral health. And like I said, that we also going to be running a conference. So
nice.
yeah, it's a mix between athletic and personal, personal and professional goals.
Right. And if you weren't a dentist or a marathon runner or an athlete, what do you think Bhavik would be doing? I know you've this was your passion since the beginning, but it's always interesting to hear, what if you weren't?
Yeah. Uh, so like, yeah, funny story is that at first, I I probably would have been an accountant, because that's what I was accepted to do. Uh, until a week before dentistry started, and I got my
Wow.
acceptance. Um, but if I wasn't doing any of that, I would probably still be doing something with regards to uh, which is sports related.
Yeah.
Um, Even if it was coaching or performance science. I mean, even now, um, if somebody asked me to help them with a bit of running or a bit of a
Mm.
program, like I'm more than happy to help. It's always a passion that I do have to help people to get better and to see somebody benefit from that little bit of help that I'm able to give. So yeah, if I wasn't a dentist, I'd probably end up doing something sports related.
Yeah. Interesting you said accounting. I was just having a discussion with my colleague today at work, and I was just thinking about because I work in the animation industry. I just asked him, so what was
Okay.
the what was the time when you realized, okay, this is what I want to do? And I go back to how we grew up in lands and stuff, well in Asia, and most of our friends and colleagues just done went down that normal path, either then medical field,
Mm.
accounting, engineering, etc. Not nobody like straying away too much away from the norms. But no, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, sure.
When you get to that end line, end to the finish line of a marathon, that feeling. What is that feeling? Because I know what that feels like when you get over something, when you accomplish like for us, it's like making 100 or scoring that last minute goal or whatever.
Mm.
It's that euphoric feeling. What does that feel for you crossing that line?
Yeah, so I would say it's a mix between like relief, pride, a little bit of gratitude as well. So you have a relief because the hard work has paid off. You've crossed this line, and you've been hurting, and yeah, all the hard work that you've put in for all these months have now paid off. There's pride in what you have achieved. You've realized that you've set out the goal and now you've achieved it, and gratitude as well, because there's gratitude for the people that have been there and supported you along the way. So yeah, it's and for me, it's always about the journey. Sometimes it's not even just about crossing the finish line. It's about the journey. It's about the about growing along the way. Yeah.
It's amazing. Thanks, Bhavik. Man, I appreciate your time today and sharing your journey with us. I think a lot of people are going to learn more about you from this podcast. So thank you for sharing. I wish you all the best for the future. Can't wait to see you on a global stage, probably soon. Hopefully soon. Come and do a marathon in Toronto.
Yeah, well, that's it is the plan. It's the plan to do some international marathons. So maybe
Nice.
maybe I'll see you there. Yeah. But no, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Yeah.
No, you're welcome. Yes, guys, remember, Bhavik's story is telling us what resilience, motivation, and perseverance can teach us. And I hope you take something away from his story. And remember also, guys, to keep supporting the channel and the podcast by hitting the like, share, and subscribe button. Also share this with somebody that will probably interested in learning about Bhavik. And until the next one, everybody, stay zen. Thank you so much.